Hey everybody, my name is Nick. I used to open my videos, if you've been watching this channel for a while, by saying I'm a director and editor living in Taiwan. But I left Taiwan and I moved back to the United States, and now I'm living in Los Angeles. And I think an interesting thing is that I didn't continue saying I'm a director and editor living in Los Angeles. And there's a lot of reasons for that I could go into in a separate video. But recently I've been feeling a little bit of shame for the fact that I haven't been repping Los Angeles pride, because I am very proud to live in Los Angeles and I think it's a great city and I do love it a lot. So obviously you probably know that there's huge fires going on right now, and I just want to talk a little bit about something that I've seen online that I have to make a video about. I think a lot of it is trolling. Could be bots that are being used to rile up engagement and make people upset so that they'll, stay on social media longer. The amount of hate posts that I've been seeing about LA during this disaster, I really find very disgusting. So I want to talk about it and to kind of address the elephant in the room about it, because it's stupid to tiptoe around it. It seems to be all politically framed. Conservatives hating on liberal California is kind of the basic bent of these posts. And the basic framing is that the hate for LA is kind of based on the fact that they believe that LA hates the rest of the country, is evil and degenerate. California in general is full of liberals who kind of ignore the rest of the country, and they deserve this, and they don't deserve sympathy or help. That's a lot of posts are like this. I've seen a lot of these comments under a lot of big Instagram posts, under posts asking for sympathy or help or even donations. So I just kind of want to address the first flaw in this general framing of this argument that LA is full of these like elitist, evil people. LA is the second biggest city in the country, so there's no way that the second biggest city in the country can run or function with a majority being elites. If you don't understand that a giant city like this is majority working and middle class, then I don't really know what to tell you. And even if you're going to come back and say, well, the fire was in Pacific Palisades, which is a wealthy area, well, that's stupid too, because you don't think that this giant fire is going to affect everybody in the city, or that there are people from working class backgrounds that work or have businesses in Pacific Palisades, or you don't know about Altadena, which is very working and middle class. I mean, and if you just think about it logically, how many wealthy celebrities do you think there are? This fire is how many acres now? Do you think that all of that is wealthy people? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So this is obviously a stupid argument that is not based in any kind of reality. But even if you pivot from this and you say, well, I do have sympathy for all the working class people, but what I'm talking about is the general idea of LA and the elites that live in LA. And I'm only mocking those people. I'm only mocking the Hollywood degenerates. I have to also call you out for this idea, this stupid, warped brainworm idea that you have, that Hollywood is this evil, awful place. There is no degenerate Hollywood agenda. It's not a real thing. It's in your head if you believe this. It's a made-up fiction based on news that's being filtered into you, these people that are fear-mongering against you. Yes, are some movie producers horrible, awful people? Yes. P. Diddy, for example, deserves the death penalty, in my opinion. That guy is a disgusting person. But that isn't what everything in Hollywood is. Hollywood is full, again, and people in the movie business are, again, working class people, middle class people for the majority. I mean, if you watch a movie and look at the credits, think about how many people are on there. You think everybody on there is a wealthy elite with a kind of like lizard person agenda trying to, I don't know, do whatever stupid crap you guys believe. Like, what is it? The Great Replacement? Like, that's like everybody in a movie credits is in on the Great Replacement or whatever stupid shit. Let's just go back to the people that I work with in the post department. These are all good people. We're all not wealthy. We're all struggling to make ends meet. We're all trying our best. And we make a product for big companies, yes, that are trying, and I can tell you this, it's not a woke conspiracy what these companies are trying to do. These companies are trying to make a profit. They have meetings, they have creative meetings where they sit around and they think about how to get people to watch this for longer and make a profit. That's what they do. So this idea that there is some kind of evil, degenerate agenda that's happening. No, it's an agenda to make money, which, you know, you could argue in a different way that that's degenerate, but that's like global capitalist systems, which you are talking about this stuff that is happening and you say you don't like it, but that's just society reinforcing what is being created to make products. That's how capitalism works. So like, if you think that all this stuff is degenerate, well, that's what people are wanting to watch. And so you are talking about changing society as a whole. Sure, maybe you want to do that. That's great. But this is not a conspiracy. There's no top-down agenda from a group of people in Hollywood, in LA. So the fact that you're hating on this city, that doesn't make any sense. This is something that is, the world is globalized. Everything is interconnected. There's no center of degeneracy. And I just want to like expand on that and kind of go back to like the central theme of this whole channel. Movies for me are something that uplifts people. You know, every movie I've seen has been about, not every movie, but a lot of the movies that I've seen and a lot of the movies that I enjoy and the movies that mean so much to me and are created are about how to overcome difficulties and how to be a better person and how, you know, how to deal with trauma and loss and all this stuff. That is what the movie business is creating. And so to think that this is some evil, degenerate things that needs to be destroyed is just, I just can't understand what reality you live in. I mean, have you never seen a movie that means something to you? Have you never seen a TV show that means something to you? Yes, certainly celebrities or, you know, people that work in the movie business can be kind of delusional and self-important and can be annoying even to think about when they talk about how important they think their job is. But like, that doesn't mean that the job doesn't matter and that the people that work in that position are not worthy of your compassion. I just think that the way that I see people talk about this is just so weird and gross. And like, the entertainment business is a business that generates a lot of money for the economy. So if you're thinking that this is something that should be cleansed from the American life, like what kind of weird Stalinist anti-art world do you want to live in? I just don't understand that. And I think that's probably a topic for another video to kind of get into all of this, but I just had to bring it up because I feel like there is a weird slant of when you call out people for saying, well, hey, LA is really working class, and they go and they say, well, I'm just talking about like the movie business. And it's like, well, the movie business is working class. The movie business isn't this evil thing. And the fact that people think it is so mind-boggling to me. So to get, again, back on topic and to address, you know, one other specific logical flaw in a lot of the specific takes that I've been seeing is that I've been seeing a lot of people say like, oh, you care about this, everybody cares about this LA fire, but nobody cared about, like, for example, the hurricane that happened in North Carolina. Who says that? Who's saying that? Who says that nobody cared about that? I mean, there are multiple tragedies, yes, and not everyone can notice every tragedy. And a lot of people right now are posting about the LA tragedy because that's what happened, and the population of LA is very large. So, you know, the scale probably feels a little different in comparison to the North Carolina hurricane. And that is kind of just basic logic, where you have more people and more people who know those people posting about a specific tragedy, and it's pretty unprecedented, the size of these fires, so the media obviously is going to cover it. It's a big kind of issue, this idea of these fires. That is going to feel maybe in scale like it dwarfs what happened in North Carolina. And, you know, in terms of raw attention numbers, probably it does, but that doesn't mean that anybody thought that the North Carolina hurricane was not important. I mean, can I ask you, did you ever hear somebody from LA be like, oh, I don't care about that? It's possible they didn't know about it, but that doesn't mean that they didn't care. They wouldn't care if they had heard about it. I mean, another thing to think about is, like, I am from Maui, and the Lahaina fire, when it was happening in August of 2023, you know, was the only thing I thought about all the time, but so many people didn't know about it. Does it make sense if I'm like, well, what about Lahaina? Every time anything ever happened? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what would I get mad at some old lady from Montana if she didn't donate money to Lahaina? And you should have compassion and love for the people that do help you, but it doesn't mean you have to hate somebody just because they don't know about your specific problem. And, you know, if you personally would be like, I want to donate my money to North Carolina hurricane relief instead of LA fire relief because I think that nobody cares about that and people are ignoring that, that's a great thing to do. God bless you. I just don't understand how, like, you could live in America and think that it's like a competition between these two disasters that are happening. Like, we're all supposed to be connected and helping each other. So I do not understand why you would see this devastating tragedy and be like, yeah, well, nobody helped me. Do your thing and help your people and help who you help, but just stop being an asshole online and like talking a bunch of crap. It's just like not helpful. So, I mean, I don't know if these posts are just like bots or trolls or what, but if you're a good person, there's never any reason to post on somebody's post about their pain and their loss and say to them, you deserve this. Or, yeah, but you know, you didn't help me when I needed it, or whatever it is, whatever kind of snarky comment you want to make. That's just like a weird social media brain disease that you have. And I think it's funny that a lot of this conversation about LA is about how LA is this degenerate, awful place and there's this Hollywood degeneracy, when what I see is that there is a degeneracy present in social media, and that posting this kind of vicious stuff, that's the degeneracy that is happening in our culture. This is not a media top-down conglomerate degeneracy. This is a degeneracy that is festering within all of us and the way that we interact with each other on social media. You know, that's what's destroying this country. That's what's making everybody mean and angry all the time. And it's not movies doing that. It's all of us, you know, and the way that we talk to each other. So unless we stop that shit, you know, the world is just going to get more angry and people are just going to get more pissed and there's going to be more degeneracy going on. So that's what I see, and that's what I think needs to change, is that people need to stop doing this kind of stuff. And then I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments being like, well, liberals did it first or whatever, but that's not helpful, especially like in the most obvious time when you can say something nice to somebody or show compassion to somebody is when there's this giant tragedy. If you go outside in LA right now and you go in the city, you see everybody helping each other. I mean, I challenge you to come here and see that and help out and not feel connected to the people around you. So, you know, get offline and go do something useful, please. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. But if anybody wants to talk more shit in the comments and hate on LA, you know, you can feel free, and I will encourage everybody else to bully and shame you until you get off the internet. So links below for places to donate, and my videos never make very much money, but all the money that this video makes in ad revenue, I will donate to a charity.